I need you to trust me on this. Chili chocolate ribs. Yeah, you heard right. Chili chocolate ribs. Chocolate or cocoa powder, unsweetened in this case, is something that a lot of people do use in rubs to add that sort of background flavor of chocolate. And we're going to be combining it today with some hotter spices to get that mixture of that heat and a little bit of that sweet. So let's get our rub going. First ingredient, 2 1/4 cups of brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. 2 tablespoons of chili powder. I'm using a mixture of pasilla chili powder and a Penzeys Northwoods Fire seasoning. 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika. 2 teaspoons of a coarse ground salt. It's going to mix this all up. Want to make sure you get that chili powder all mixed in evenly. Let's give this a quick taste. Oh, that's nice. Very nice. Already getting that chocolate hint in there from the cocoa mixed with the brown sugar especially. A little bit of heat in the background. This is going to be nice. All right, let's get it on the ribs. The ribs I'm using today are full racks of spare ribs. I've already removed the membrane, but I'm going to trim them up a little bit. Now, I'm not going to be taking these down to St. Louis cut. I'm leaving these as full racks. There's going to be a lot of meat on this. But I want to clean up some of these edges and little bits of things that are still hanging off. Check the other side here. You can see we've got some like big old loose pieces of fat hanging off. Just going to remove those. A lot of that skirt meat has already been trimmed away at the butcher's. I'm good with that. Time to start hitting this with some rub, and I'm going to start on the back side. While we're cooking these in the early part of the cook today, I'm going to be spritzing with a mixture of 1 part orange juice and 5 parts water. I'm going to get a really good coating on this meat side, not on the bone side. The bone side gets some, but you really want to get a good coating on the meat side. I'm going to let these sit for about 15 minutes, then I'm going to get them out on the Oklahoma Joe's Highland offset. Okay, let's get these ribs on. So my setup today is I have 2 water pans in the Oklahoma Joe's Highland, one that is full at the firebox side and one that is full on the smokestack side. That'll just provide enough moisture as we get through the first part of this cook today. So let's close this up and check on our fire. Going good. We're going to be smoking with a mix of hickory and pecan today. I'm going to put another little small piece on, a piece of pecan, close it up and let it get smoking. I have the damper fully open, the damper door closed. Got good airflow going through there as this was coming up to temp while I was getting the ribs ready. Running a solid 260. I want to keep it between 225 and 275. Shooting for right in the middle there, 250. We're going to be doing this in a mostly 3-2-1 method today. But remember, the 3-2-1 is only a guide. You really have to look at the tenderness of the ribs as you go along. I'm definitely going to be doing the first part as a 3. It's about 10 in the morning now, so about 1 in the afternoon. I'm going to be taking these off and I'm going to be wrapping them in butcher paper with a little bit of moisture in there. Not foil this time, butcher paper. One of the reasons is I want to try and preserve as much of that chili chocolate coating on the outside. If I put it in foil, there's a chance that the moisture that is retained in there might break that down a little bit. So I want to use butcher paper today. Probably going to go about 2 hours in the butcher paper, but something that'll tell me how long that's going to be is how tender these are at the end of the first period, that 3 hours. If they're really tender, we'll dial back that wrapped period probably to an hour or so. In my experience though, spare ribs usually end up taking that full 6 hours and that full 3-2-1 method most of the time, but not all the time. As I said, during the first 3 hour period here, we're going to be spritzing about every hour with a 5-to-1 mixture of 1 part orange juice, 5 parts water. At the end, after we unwrap these for that last hour or the last period of time, whatever it turns out to be based upon tenderness, we're going to glaze these with some barbecue sauce. And then after that, we're gonna enjoy some good ribs. So I'll bring you back in a while when it's time to spritz these. All right, if you hear some construction noise or some construction going on next door, so please excuse that. But we're holding at 236, we're an hour in. Hard to see in this light, but really good smoke coming out of there. You know, not invisible, but not crazy thick either. Call it thin blue if you want. I don't see any blue, but it's some good smoke, good burn. But it's time to spritz these ribs. So let's check these out. Oh, really nice smell coming off there. Let's give these a good spritz. You can tell there's a lot of moisture in the chamber here, which is good. Those water pans. Really nice looking color developing already, just an hour in. That chili chocolate rub is doing its stuff. All right, let me get this closed up. Keep cooking. Bring you back when it's time to wrap these up in the butcher paper. Okay, we are 3 hours in. It is 1 in the afternoon. Smoker temp's about 247, holding really well. It's been just staying right between roughly about 240 and 260 the whole time. So good range there. 250's right in the middle of that. I'm happy. But now it's time to get these ribs and wrap them. Let's take a look at them. I know in this light it's really hard to see, but they look really good. Okay, so you can see here, there's quite a bit of flex in this rack. So we're getting pretty tender. So this 2 hour wrap, I think I'm gonna make an hour and a half. First thing I wanna do is hit this with some more of that water and orange juice mixture, just to add a little bit of moisture in here. Also gonna sprinkle just a little bit of that rub that we used, the chili chocolate rub. I'm just gonna wrap this up. Bring my ends in, bring my sides over. I bring another length of paper and wrap it so this tucks under. This is the top. I roll it once and then twice. And there's my butcher paper wrapped ribs. I'm gonna get these back on and get the other rack and wrap that. If they overlap a little, that's okay, they're wrapped up. All right, let's get this closed up and check our fire. Yeah, we're burned down pretty good there. I'm gonna add another piece of hickory, but I'm also gonna add some charcoal because I don't need to burn a lot of wood during this hour and a half period. Right now the wood is just for fuel, it's not for smoke because we're wrapped up. Might as well use charcoal as the main fuel right now. All right, our hickory is going. We're gonna go ahead and close this up, let it build up to temp. I'll see you in an hour and a half. All right, we are an hour and a half in paper. Time to get these off of here, unwrap them, check the tenderness, and get them back on with some sauce. Get these unwrapped here. There's a great smell coming off this right now, let me tell you. Those are some tasty looking ribs. I'm gonna do a quick little probing here for tenderness, see how we're doing. We are doing excellent. Yeah, I don't even think we're gonna go an hour in sauce. I think we're gonna go about half an hour in sauce, because these are going quick. I'm gonna get these back on, get the others unwrapped, and I'm gonna sauce them both on the smoker. They have just enough structural integrity to hang on for the ride over to the smoker. Come on, all you gotta do is last 4 feet. They made it. Apologize again, the light is not great right here. It's just half in sun, half not in sun. Just the time of day. I'm gonna be glazing this with a thinned out regular Kraft barbecue sauce. It's been thinned out with some apple cider vinegar. I just wanna give this a thin glaze. I want that chili chocolate rub to come through. This is just to help finish it off in this last 30 minutes. Like I said, this 3-2-1 turned into a 3, 1.5, 1/2, 5 hours. Tenderness is what guides you when you're doing ribs and a lot of other cuts of meat too. Time is a guide. Tenderness is the determining factor. Those look beautiful, they smell great. Time to close this up, let them finish. Bring you back in half an hour and we take them off. Okay, our final half hour is up. Let's take a look at these. Oh. All right, I'm gonna get these off, get them inside, and we're gonna have a great tasting of these. There is one of the racks of ribs. You can see the meat is pulled beautifully away from the bone. It's got a great color on this. The smell is really, really nice right now. I cannot wait to taste this to get a hit of that chili chocolate rub. So let's cut into this. All right, let's see. I could turn it over to make an easy cut so I could see the bones, but I really want to keep this side up. So I'm going to work my way right along here, I believe. We're just going to cut one rib right now. Let's see. Nice smoke ring. Hopefully you can see that all along the top here. A lot of juice in there. This rib right here, it has my name on it. It's time to taste. I've said many times I don't like fall off bone ribs. I like there to be a bite. Let's make that the first test here with the taste. Oh man. Perfect pull away. Bite right off the bone. Not mushy. Oh boy, that flavor. That chili chocolate comes through. You've got heat. You've got the sweetness from the cocoa powder combining with the brown sugar. That barbecue sauce glaze we did at the end is just a topper. The flavor of that chili chocolate rub is all below that in the meat. Oh boy. Because of that brown sugar in there, it stuck to these ribs. It's like a very sticky rib with that brown sugar. It just held that mixture of the cocoa powder and the chili powder. Oh man. Can you see the bone? Bites right away clean. These are up there with some of the favorite ribs that I've cooked. Oh man. They're juicy, tender, with great flavor that you don't get every day. That chocolate in there, that cocoa powder mixed with the chili powder. It's such a unique flavor. You're also getting the hickory and the pecan in there, but really the defining flavor of this is that chili powder and cocoa powder. Somehow mixed with the brown sugar, they just burst. It's a great flavor in this. And the color on the outside of this, beautiful, nice little bark. I think the only thing I would do different next time if I made these ribs would be to make 4 racks instead of 2. I really have to stress though, one of the keys to getting these just right was watching the tenderness. If you go by a 3-2-1 method, which I've used many times and I've done videos on, if you strictly adhere to just the numbers, the 3, the 2, the 1, you may not end up with the tenderness that you want at the end. If you want these falling off the bone, if that's your thing, then you're going to go a little farther than I did. You're going to do probably that full 2 in a wrap and a full 1 at the end. As it was, to get the tenderness that I desired, after that initial 3-hour period, I could tell by the flex of those ribs, it wasn't going to take the full 2 and 1 after that. So I adjusted it, went down to 1.5 wrapped, and then just a half an hour at the end. 5 hours. I said at the beginning, spare ribs usually take 6. They usually do when I do them. But when the meat is telling you something different, you got to follow what it's saying. These were saying they were going to be done quicker, so I lowered the time on the 2 and the 1 portion of this and ended up with some great, tender, juicy ribs. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out some of the other videos on my channel and consider subscribing. And if you do, click that bell for notifications. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you again soon.